So there I was, minding my own business, cleaning the floors when Mr. Fancy Suit walked by and sneered at me. "A janitor, huh? Is that the best you could do with your life?" I smirked and replied, "Well, at least I'm not leaving messes for others to clean up." His words would fuel my journey to show them all just how wrong they were about me. Get ready, because this janitor is about to clean up. And I don't just mean the floors. It all started when I was working at this fancy bank, mopping the floors like it was nobody's business. The bank owner, Mr. Arrogant, approached me with a snobbish grin and said, "It must be so sad, being uneducated and having to settle for a job like this." I clenched my teeth and replied, "Well, at least I'm not a pompous jerk." But inside, I was fuming. You see, what Mr. Arrogant didn't know was that I had a brilliant mind, and I wasn't gonna let his snide comments go unanswered. So, I did what any self-respecting janitor with a vendetta would do. I planned a heist. And boy, was it a good one. With a little bit of research and a lot of hard work, I managed to break into the bank owner's vault, emptying it of its riches without leaving a single trace. And just like that, the smug bank owner got a taste of his own medicine. Who's uneducated now, huh? After successfully robbing the bank, I was enjoying my new wealth when Miss Fake It Till You Make It, a beauty influencer, decided to ridicule me for being a janitor. Her words stung, but it only fueled my desire to prove her wrong. So, I used some of my newfound fortune to create an eco-friendly, honest brand. And guess what? It exploded in popularity, making me even more famous than her. When she tried to score a sponsorship deal with my company, I just smirked. "Sorry, we only work with genuine people." The satisfaction was indescribable. Life took a wild turn after that. Suddenly, I was living the high life, surrounded by gorgeous supermodels, attending VIP events, and spending $100,000 in a single night without even breaking a sweat. It was a far cry from my janitor days, and I couldn't help but enjoy the sweet taste of success. It's amazing how quickly things can change when you show those snobs who's boss. So this rich dude comes up to me, not realizing I was just dressed as a janitor for fun, missing my old simple lifestyle. He says, "Hey, janitor boy, I bet you don't even know how to play poker. Tell you what, you can keep my house and my girlfriend, but if you lose, they're mine." I couldn't help but smirk at his arrogance. As we sat down to play, he kept trash-talking me, saying things like, "You really think you stand a chance against me? I played poker with celebrities, and you're just a janitor." I just smiled and replied, "Well, you know what they say, cleanliness is next to godliness." We played through the night, and just when he thought he had me cornered, I revealed my winning hand. His jaw dropped, and I couldn't help but chuckle. "Looks like I just cleaned up," I said with a grin. Instead of taking his money, I decided to take his girlfriend. She rolled her eyes at him and said, "I always knew you were a lousy poker player. I'm happy to leave you for someone who knows how to play the game and how to treat people right." As we walked away, I revealed my true identity, leaving the rich guy stunned and humiliated. There I was, wearing my janitor outfit for a charity event I organized, when I found a rich developer who planned to demolish my parents' house to build luxury homes. No way was I letting that happen. I pulled some strings, got involved with the decision-making process, and confronted the developer at a packed city council meeting. "My parents' house is more than just a building. It's a home filled with memories and love," I told him, my voice loud and clear. The room went silent, and the developer stared at me, baffled. "Who are you?" he asked. Grinning, I replied, "Just a janitor with a heart of gold." I turned to the crowd, my voice full of passion. "Who here has a home they love? Who here has memories they cherish?" Hands shot up all over the room. "We can't let this developer take away what makes our city special. Our homes, our community, our memories." The crowd erupted in applause, and people began sharing their stories of love, family, and the homes they held dear. The developer, realizing he was losing the battle, tried to argue his case. "Think of the jobs, the economic boost," he shouted. I raised my hand to silence him. "We can create jobs without sacrificing our homes and our past. We can build a better future together, without forgetting where we come from." The entire city stood behind me, and the developer had no choice but to back down. Money isn't everything. Sometimes, even a janitor can save the day. One day, I was dining at a fancy restaurant with my gold digger crush, who didn't know about my newfound wealth. I decided to wear my old janitor uniform to see her reaction. As expected, she was all about the glamour. loudly shaming me for not affording the most expensive items on the menu. I played along, pretending to be hurt by her words. But the next day, I pulled up to her place in a brand new luxury car, dressed to the nines. She couldn't believe her eyes. "Hey, remember when you shamed me for not affording the most expensive stuff at the restaurant?" I asked, smirking. "Well, guess who just made a fortune?" Her jaw dropped and she stammered. You? But how?" I laughed. "Turns out even a janitor can strike it rich." As I drove away, I could see the regret in her eyes. Little did she know she'd missed out on a fantastic life with a guy who knew the true value of hard work and love. Karma had spoken, and I was loving every minute of it. One day, I was invited to a costume party at my friend's luxurious mansion. The theme was Humble Beginnings, where the attendees were supposed to dress up as someone from their past or a profession they'd done before. I thought it'd be a great opportunity to remind myself of where I came from. So I decided to dress up as a janitor, my old job. As I was helping clean up a spilled drink at the party, a group of spoiled party girls walked by, laughing and pointing at me. "Look at this loser, pretending to be a janitor," one of them taunted. "Ew, and what's with that cheap outfit?" another added. I rolled my eyes and decided to have some fun with them. "This cheap outfit you're making fun of is actually a limited edition designer shirt," I said, smirking. They didn't believe me, so I challenged them to tear it off and see for themselves. As they reluctantly tugged at my shirt, they couldn't help but gasp at my toned abs. "Wow, he's hot," one of them whispered to her friend, and when they saw the designer label, their faces turned red with embarrassment. "This is worth thousands of dollars," one of them exclaimed. With a sly grin, I put my shirt back on and continued enjoying the party, leaving the girls in awe, their shallow judgments backfiring on them. They'd just learned a valuable lesson. Never judge a book by its cover, and always be aware of the context behind people's actions. You won't believe this other crazy thing that happened to me. So, I was at this wild party, and the host suddenly announces a bizarre challenge, sharing an enormous t-shirt with someone for 24 hours. And who do I get paired with? My crush! We wriggled into the t-shirt, feeling all kinds of awkward. "Well, this is one way to break the ice," I joked. She giggled, and our initial awkwardness started to fade. We had some of the funniest moments of our lives that day. Picture this. We were trying to squeeze through a doorway and got stuck right in the middle. "Maybe if we twist like pretzels, we'll make it," she suggested, as we began wiggling through the tight space. "Or we could just moonwalk our way out," I quipped, and we both burst into laughter. Despite the sticky situations, the 24-hour t-shirt challenge turned out to be a blast. It actually brought us closer than ever, transforming a potentially cringeworthy experience into a hilarious, unforgettable memory. One day, I was walking around in my favorite vintage jacket when a group of girls started to make fun of it. "Hey, nice jacket! Did you find it in the trash?" they sneered. I shrugged off their comments, but before I could walk away, a stylish woman approached me. "Oh my God! That jacket is to die for! I've been looking for one like this forever," she gushed. "I'll give you $2,500 for it right now." The girls' jaws dropped, and they couldn't believe what they were hearing. I smirked, handing over the jacket, and walked away with a fat stack of cash. Another time, this gold digger I knew turned me down for a date just because my t-shirt had a tiny hole in it. Little did she know it was a limited edition designer t-shirt worth $10,000. After I'd made the fortune and starting living the high life, she came crawling back, full of regret. "Oh, I didn't know you were so successful now. Maybe we could give it another shot?" she suggested, but I just shook my head and smiled. "Sorry, I only date people who appreciate me for who I am, not just my bank account. So, thanks, but no thanks." I walked away, leaving her to wallow in her shallow choices. Sweet, sweet karma. As the years went by, I continued to embrace my newfound success while staying true to my roots. I never forgot the lessons I learned from my humble beginnings as a janitor, and I always made sure to treat others with kindness and respect, regardless of their social status. One day, I decided to host a grand charity event, inviting all the people I had encountered on my journey, the rich and the poor, the influential and the humble, and even those who had once mocked or underestimated me. As the event unfolded, I took the stage and addressed the crowd. "Tonight, we celebrate not just my personal success, but the power of resilience and the human spirit. It's not about how much money you have or the designer clothes you wear. It's about the person you choose to be and the impact you have on others." The applause was deafening. and I could see the faces of those who had once belittled me, now filled with respect and admiration. That night, we raised a significant amount of money for charity, giving back to the community and helping those in need. As I looked around the room, I realized that I had achieved the most satisfying ending to my journey. I had not only overcome my own obstacles and found success, but I had also used my influence to make a real difference in the world. And that, my friends, is what true success and happiness are all about.